Go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday poetry reading. I've lost count of how many weeks we've been doing this.
9?
Maybe 9, 10, 11, something like that. This week's been especially rough. We're still all trying not to get a disease that may kill us, that we may pass along to somebody else accidentally, that may kill them. And the powerful people that are supposed to be protecting us from this don't seem to be doing a very good job. Some of them don't even seem to be trying to do a very good job. A lot of us are facing economic stress, and the people that we're relying on to get us through that don't seem to be doing a very good job. Some of us are dealing with mental health challenges because we're all stuck indoors with each other 24/7. And on top of this, we're watching in real time as white supremacy openly threatens to provoke a civil war and tear our democracy and our country apart rather than give up its privilege to murder people of color with impunity and maim anyone who objects. For part of last night and this morning, I wasn't sure if I could go through with this reading today. I had a hard time imagining that my heart would be into reading some silly poems from almost 25 years ago when there's all this going on. And then a couple things changed my mind about that. One of them is that I remember that the poetry isn't really the point of these readings. The poetry is just a vehicle that gets us together, however virtually that may be, when these challenges threaten to isolate us from one another. I draw strength from sharing this time with you. And I then have that strength available to give to others when they need it. So thank you all again for your support and sharing your time and attention. And the second thing that happened was that I worked real hard on my new thing that I've been writing about the pandemic, and about 20 minutes ago I got that into shape where I felt comfortable reading it. So this feels a little more immediate than what I was going to read today, which is work from 1996. So I'm going to go ahead and read this new thing that I've been writing. I think the first time the pandemic started showing up in my writing practice was in February, although I don't think any of the stuff that I was writing in February made it into this work. But yeah, definitely, at least for the last 2 months, I've been working on this. So here goes. It's called Breathnexus. The Breathnexus, where we carry the world into ourselves. The Breathnexus, which carries us back in. Contagious, openly ravaging our neural American vacancy. Ignorance retaliates upon sapience. That lucent fever, outrage contagion, amidst dissociating clan. We are discovering our country. People stand there and are involved. Our country is a think upswing. Today I spoke with the market well, and he thinks it will be letter V. Fully open, V will grow dramatically. Molecular détente over dental mollification. A red pandemic catching the diamond napping. Draped in fomites, wipeless and flustered. Covert morbidity. Satanic logic dins. Coronavirus consequence. Vaccine administration acknowledges retweeted outbreak reports. Planned dismissal, a living ambulance of evidence. Guided medicine employees providing funding for particular focus on centered, untenable care. Sealed over, archaic ownership entities aid vehicular ideology, arbitrary, urinary, estuary, acidic signal snot, fecal truth event, culmination of organ shutdown is ventilators gamble, incredible beds relate, religiously permitted absurdity, terrible reagents, side specimens, a sadistic cloning, test medical works nothing in politics, dying of something by far. No one can sleep. It's an insomniac trap house with depression and anxiety on tap and low-key passive aggression for chasers. Cirque desolation. In the dream, a maskless crowd flees convenience store scene, hearing sirens' arrival. Dead line is a problem, early, reduced to 1 or 2. Time to people in beds is less, treated in the same way, providing the quality. Convenient solutions can convenience, easier to smear and give consumers to consumers with options, remote health care. Seething oceans arc over endemic aviary irises, artificial U essences. The pestilence alights from behind, a protein structure derived from winded hills. Steve Reich? No, Third Reich. Art Deco, herence, here, hence. Occasion when breath and death decay into one indistinguishable echo. Singed like lungs, the singer lunges. The unmasked middleman, ager, and his example setting, empty shadow boxing. Mike Pence, you better take care if you're friends with the creeps cutting Medicare. We have many countries, but you don't need it. We are different now. A combination of security and rediscovery, different forms of products. The target group we perform is, everything exists when they are very honest. We will complete the test. It can even replace the work we do for ventilators that people can't even believe. Germ gentrification moves in hard. Black air for black lungs. Black water for black thirst. Black plague for black neighborhoods. While denial is river running through the town's white side. Election job limits number of protests. Storming Sisyphus crazy downward, flattening all curves, dying no matter what the herd. The oracle died at a point in China. The hoard over time concept in the world, honored, not crazy. Government obscenity, the country heroism of pharmacists, terror of altruistic. Citing Asian colds, the misquoted mosquito on the platform. This is a very unfair question. Many outstanding professionals Respect some of them. You are on the other side with many people. Many people say the same thing and are confident. Many people do not get it right. I was lucky, either because of luck or because we closed the border. With exception, we are denied China. We have our American God. You need to be done. But we banned China, which was very lucky. Socialist dancing in the streets of Chinatown. Reopen Pandora's economy-sized box. Reopen the hair salons, but the border, STFU. Casino cats dig nil. As they print his tense asides, the president's dense presence dents the press's sense of pride. Hold your distance, rare old-fashioned examination yodeler. Constitutionally heretical lies only rate one quote. Unbelievable iniquity never ends. A red pill you don't just take. You live inside its bubble until your heart expires. Remdesivir, its shiny armor, spiky resources pooling intractable respirator reservoir, reserving to itself its only mutated arrival so far, so near to the heartbeat of capital, the pumping blood of the serfs, the wave ride to the lungs, riptide of phlegm. America's F-stop, absent prophylactic prep, the population's viral aperture widens with economy. Epidemic saturation compels immuno-marksmanship at its game's peak. Corpses occasion raw opinions. No antiquated virility improves ruined ultimatums serumlessly. The pulmonary forms of the infection which satiate something manifest are multipliant, maintaining up to 4 lungs to the county. Like if an event featuring all your mates was set ablaze with poison, the risk of contagion stays risky with a sanitary continuum of respirants while your masks gaze disinfectedly. Speculation is brawling since you've offered me that fabulous price for an incessant necessity during our ordinary march. The poor family suffered their pain through the air. Immersed in this world, a question that anyone may find, whether it is ultraviolet, we may hit the body. You brought the light through the skin, so I saw the disinfectant, inserting it, or almost clearing it, so you will see it entering the lungs, and there are many lungs in it, so it will be fun to check it. So I went to the doctor. How the whole concept of light kills. Holistic urine demonstrates ritual oneric xenophilia. Yelling confusion heightens lurid opulence remotely over quickly unnerved intelligence-negating entities. Reenact the flu TV, talking to the radio how they died. By the other side, fervent hate cult. Perspective avoids the rest of us. Every virologist conditions arrival on people. Second virus. Nevertheless, harmful retribution, dwelling defeated. Slow motion struggle, barricaded identity, a siege of toxic cultural baggage upon human community and even the essence needed to sustain it. Breakneck morbidity, enveloping tragedy, filmic interrogation of possible outcome. The other child in a pandemic, inspired by what should change, people like can't drug trial without having a replica of saying, business world town to talk baking sprinkles, testing based on agendas, inner love condition, AIDS epidemic powers Fauci analysis, decision all help request, victims compassion administration on the street, described extraordinary, changed the way. The Breathnexus, where we carry the world into ourselves. The Breathnexus, which carries us back in. Thanks. So I don't really have anything to say about that at the moment, but I hope that was meaningful to everyone, and I thank everyone again for being here and sharing this time with me and listening to my ramblings. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully things will be better by then, if not perfect. Things will never be perfect, but they can always be better. Yeah, thank you very much.